Evening, everyone. Not so chilly tonight, so it's a bit better to get out, eh? Anyway, welcome to another exhilarating evening here at Tuku Night Series on Flourishing Relationships. And tonight we're going to tackle an idea that some of you may have heard about. You probably have heard about it. It's been around for a while, and called the 5 Love Languages. It's based on a book and research by a man called Gary Chapman. It's an interesting thing we'll take you through tonight, a process of understanding your loved ones. And the loved one is just not just your husband or wife, but also the kids and all the rest of it. So anyway, we'll get there. But
and
first
friends.
And friends.
And siblings.
But first off, we'll start off with a little clip, a little video that'll hopefully bring a smile to your face, something interesting.
Dave, did you say you were going to make dinner? I couldn't remember. What?
I just wish you'd take some initiative and cook your own dinner for once. I've been at work too, you know, and now I get to come home and pack the dishwasher and then unpack the dishwasher and cook dinner and put the washing on, and you know what? I can't continue to live like this because it's not me.
Hey, relax. It's going to be all right.
How?
Here, I'll just show you. Okay, I've been doing this since we moved in. See this basket thing? I don't know how it happens, if it's the house or what, but any dirty clothes you put in this basket, somehow the next day they're just clean, folded, and in a perfect pile on your bed.
You're not serious.
I couldn't believe it at first either, but it just keeps happening. That's why I didn't tell you. I didn't want to jinx it.
You are insane.
Try it, you'll see. Unless it's only chosen me. See, I don't know.
I can't do this.
No, wait. There's other things too. Plates, cutlery, pizza boxes, dirty tissues, anything you leave on this coffee table just vanishes overnight. I mean, sometimes I'll see how far I can push this thing and I'll just leave shit everywhere. And then sure enough, the next day, it's all gone. It's just vanished. It's magic. No, she wouldn't have left me. This is what I think happened. I heard her get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something. She must have fallen onto the magic coffee table and just vanished.
Are you insane?
No, he's not insane. I've got the same coffee table at home.
I don't think he understood her love language.
I don't think I would either.
The core idea is, obviously, if you do know about it, that strong relationships are built when partners move beyond simply expressing love in their preferred way and intentionally communicate it in the way that the other person receives it. And this is the important part, right? It's not about the love language that works for you, it's about the love language that works for for the receiving person. And the central thought behind it is simple. People tend to give and receive love in different ways. While we all appreciate kindness, and each person usually has 1 or 2 ways of receiving love that make them feel especially valued, and that specifically speaks to them. So when you do the love languages, if you go ahead and do the quiz after this tonight, there's 5 of them. You'll end up with 2 that are particularly strong. There's normally a main one, and there's normally a fairly strong second one. And those 2 are the ones that kind of like speak to you. The thing is, we're uniquely made.
I think, with everything with God, nothing is without intentionality. And we are all uniquely made. So it really is a unique language. Even though there's general languages, they also have uniqueness to them depending who you're talking to, whether it's your siblings, it's your friends, even parents, how we talk to our parents. It can be that too. So it relates to all sorts of relationships.
Mm. Yeah, and when couples consistently express love in the way that their partner best understands, relationships often become stronger, they become healthier, and they become more connected, obviously, right? So this applies across all relationships, as I mentioned already. Spouses, boy or girlfriends, friends, children even, understanding your child's love language, what speaks to them, whether they want to be affirmed or whether they love gifts or
quality time.
Quality time. They have different love languages as well. This is not just for married couples. This works across the spectrum of relationships. And oftentimes, siblings and parents we don't understand that, right? We just feel that they're just part of our life, but we don't understand that they have different things that make them click, that make them kind of like rise up as well, right? And sometimes, good intentions aren't always enough. We do things maybe with the best intentions, with good intentions, but sometimes that's just not enough. Because, many couples love each other, but still feel disconnected. They still feel unloved because they express love differently to what the other one is needing and what the other one's looking for, really. The problem is often not a lack of love, but a miscommunication of that love, right? So, for example,
because we need to focus on them, not ourselves. So we need to understand what is their love language. Because if we don't use their love languages, we might as well be speaking in a foreign language. Because it doesn't get through. And you do all this effort, like you were saying, but it doesn't actually get the result that we're trying to look for. So we might as well really put the effort in to learn what the other person's love language is, so that we can enhance our relationships together.
Yeah. For example, one partner works long hours to provide for the family, and that's an act of love. The other partner wants more time together for a different experience of that love. They want more quality time together rather than money in the bank, right? And both may care deeply and even feel that they are giving love in their respective ways. They both feel they're doing the right thing, right? But neither one feels fully appreciated, and that's the big problem, right? Healthy relationships require learning how your partner experiences love and what speaks to them. And we all have different things that speak to each of us particularly. And it's not one size fits all. Words of affirmation don't work on everyone, and gifts don't work on everyone. Acts of service, etc. So it's a thing about God, wanting us to focus and understand the other person, right?
Yeah.
And their needs, and He's built us that way because we need to be able to work with each other and integrate with each other. It'd be pretty boring if we all had the one way of being and one way of feeling and one way of kind of feeling loved or whatever. This makes it a lot more kind of interesting and enjoyable, really, in many ways. It
makes it that not being selfish, just having what you want, because it's easy to love somebody the way it speaks to you, because it just comes naturally, whereas the other way you actually have to put intentionality into it. And I think that's really the key here, is making sure that you're interested enough in the other person that you actually do speak their love language, whether it's a little child or whether it's your parent and everybody in between.
Yeah, parents, that's true. That works as well. Next slide, please, Ari. Yeah. So the 5 love languages, which we've kind of already mentioned to a degree, there's 5 of them, right? There's the words of affirmation, and for some people, words carry enormous emotional weight, right? Encouragement, appreciation, compliments, expressions of gratitude, all these communicate love to that person. Positive words build confidence and strengthen emotional connection, obviously. And people with this preference feel love through compliments, they feel love through encouragement, through appreciation, and through verbal affection. Things like, I'm proud of you, or thank you for doing what you do, etc. And the key lesson here is that, don't underestimate the power of sincere encouragement. So often we think, oh, great job, or man, that was awesome, but we never express it, even when you listen to Dr. Les Parrott and whatever, and he talks about withholds, right, in a relationship, when we think of something but we don't express it, and that withhold is, your spouse or your partner or whoever it is, your friends or the kids, have done something good and all the rest of it, and we think it at the time. We think about saying something, but we don't, because we get distracted by something else, or we do something else, and we never actually say it. And that's a withhold. That's a withhold of something that would have actually lifted that person up, that would have actually spoken into their lives, and we don't say it.
And even in that, it's like that, the scripture that says the power of your words, the power of the tongue is life or death. And I mean, even silence sometimes can actually be death, because you're not affirming that person, and that's their love language. They really hunger for that. And it's not that we have to give them everything, because obviously God has to always fill us up more than whoever is around us. But it's still nice to hear it from people that then you feel that they get you, they know who you are.
Yeah. And what hurts most to someone who has words of affirmation as a love language are obvious things like criticism, harsh words, silence,
silence.
the cold shoulder. Yeah, so those kind of things, right? Second love language up there is quality time. And quality time is about giving someone your full attention, not just your time, but your attention, and not simply just being in the same room. I think a good example of this I was just thinking about earlier is, we have a bit of our downtime just before dinner normally, or before we have a session or something. We love watching the chase. We love challenging ourselves against the quiz, right, against the chasers.
Who likes to challenge?
Yeah, I like the challenge. But I like Jackie to be with me and just to be in the moment, I suppose. But a lot of times she's busy in the kitchen or preparing something or doing something. And it doesn't feel the same. And oftentimes I'll say, well, I'll pause it. And she'll say, no, carry on.
Carry on.
It's like, no, I don't want to carry on. I want to sit here with you and watch it. I want to it's like share this moment with you, because we're going to be busy
So
with
it's
a couple
like
just
being
now.
present together, not just in
yeah.
the same room. Hey,
Being with each other. And we're each other in the same room, but to me, we're not, right?
I might as well have a wall there, because
Yeah.
our lounge area, living area is open plan. So I feel like I am there, but you don't.
No. So people with this love language often value connection over activities. And they don't necessarily want something exciting. They simply want your undivided attention, I suppose.
Presence.
Really. Your presence, yeah. Presence rather than presence, right?
Yeah.
And these people value, they want focused attention, meaningful conversations are a big part of that. Shared experience is big, and being fully present, as we just said. So things like taking a walk together, having a device-free dinner where we actually focused on each other and without distractions, big thing these days. And
And it doesn't mean looking at your device and still talking to me.
no, it's not the same thing. And here the big hurts here are things like distraction, you just said, constant busyness, lack of attention. So all these things kind of would speak against that in terms of someone who has that as their love language.
Love language, yeah.
The third one is acts of service. And again, actions here speak louder than words, for sure, right? Helping with everyday responsibilities communicates care and commitment. I'm here for you, right? Picking up your share of the chores, going the extra mile with the kids, doing something a bit more than what would normally be maybe considered or thought of. All those kind of things would speak volumes to that person. And love is expressed through helpful action. The act needs to say, I care enough to make your life easier. I'm doing this for you, kind of thing, right?
And I see your busyness.
Yeah,
So what can I take away that can ease your load?
yeah. And things like doing household tasks, helping solve problems and doing things, taking responsibility, or completing a task without having to be asked again, maybe.
Yeah.
And filling the car with fuel. Just because you weren't asked, because you saw the car was half empty and you went and filled it up without being asked. And love is often demonstrated in this case through practical service, and it's a big one for people with acts of service. Yeah, practical service, something that really speaks into them.
And I think these things can change in different seasons. You want different things, especially like if you are married and you're just the two of you. So your services will be different needs. Then children come along, and obviously moms get a lot busier in that season, so they will need other help. And it's really important that you check in with each other and ask each other, what do you need right now in this season? How can I help you? And you can even ask your siblings. I mean, it's exam time. How can I help you? Can I do something to help you today while you study? That's an act of service, and it really would make that person's day so much easier, or just even the thought that you thought of them in that kind of way goes a long way to making life so much nicer.
Yeah. And what hurts for these people is often is things like laziness, broken promises, a lack of support, repeatedly failing to help when needed. Can feel especially hurtful of someone whose primary language is acts of service. Just the fact that you're not really caring enough to want to help me, to want to go the extra mile, to step in and do that extra little something.
And like you said, without having to ask, because if you know somebody, you don't always have to be told, oh, could you do this? Because you know they like it already. So it's remembering what is it that they like? And that goes for all the services, I would say, all the acts.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yep. Yeah, totally. So fourth on the list is receiving gifts. The value is not the price, but the thoughtfulness. Yeah. So this love language isn't about materialism, right? It's not about how much did you spend. Thoughtful gift says, I was thinking about you. And it's the value. The value lies in the meaning behind the gift rather than the price tag. So remember that. Even if you...
Sometimes it's more meaningful when it didn't cost.
Yeah.
It's just the thought.
Yeah. And some examples of that would be things like, small surprises, meaningful little keepsakes maybe that you find because you're on a trip somewhere or you're doing something, symbols of remembrance or picking up a favorite snack,
When you're at the supermarket.
Yeah, supermarket, an extra little Snickers bar or something. And bring home flowers, even picked from the side of the road. So often we think flowers, in the $40 roadside flower shop is just crazy, or $50, whatever it is. But it doesn't have to be that. It can be a little bunch of posy of flowers picked up from the
weed flowers.
The garden you were walking past, yeah.
It's just the thought.
Yeah. And a thoughtful gift becomes a visible reminder of your love, basically, right? Remembering birthdays, anniversaries, and important milestones are especially significant to this kind of person. And we gotta remember that. To them, that's meaningful. And forgotten promise, I think one of the big hurts is forgotten occasions, lack of thoughtfulness, so just buying a by-the-way present on a birthday or something that doesn't really speak to them, but something with a bit of thought behind it, even if it doesn't cost much, but it's actually particular to a person or something they might have particularly been keen on or wanted, that will speak volumes to them, even if it wasn't that expensive. Yeah?
Yeah.
And finally, but not because it's last, because of anything, physical touch. And affection and love here is communicated through actual physical touch. That's it, period. For many people, healthy physical affection is their strongest expression of love. Appropriate physical affection provides comfort, security, closeness, and reassurance to a lot of people. And physical touch is big for a lot of, I'll say a lot of men, but it's both ways.
I think it's both ways.
Yeah, it's both ways. I think if I think about these love languages in the entirety, men, from what we've come across, physical touch and words of affirmation are the two big ones.
It is, but I think women can have the same. I mean, I know for myself, physical touch is one of my love languages, and I think it's because I grew up in a home that didn't have that. Everybody knows in our church, I'm the hugger, and I think that's why, because I didn't get that. I didn't experience that, and for some reason, that is what I need, to feel that I'm loved and I'm accepted for who I am. And God knew that. I ended up marrying an Italian who all they ever do is give hugs and everything every time they leave, every time they come home. And to me, that's awesome. I mean, some people that would be stop, but give me a hug anytime.
We see each other out the door, we kiss. If I
Goodbye.
pop down to the Tuku shops and I walk back in the door, I'll go and kiss Jackie hello.
Yeah.
It's just a given. Or Stephanie, for that matter. It's just a given. Yeah. So, the big things for physical touch people is holding hands, hugs, kisses. And within marriage, sexual intimacy is vitally important, even in the busy seasons. We got to remember that, right? When things get busy, when the kids are around and all the rest of it, sometimes we kind of lose touch a little bit with the idea of sexual intimacy within marriage. And we got to get intentional about it.
Even if you have to schedule. It sounds unromantic, but it's still a need. And that can become romantic because you're actually filling that person's need. It's actually more than romantic, eh?
Yeah, more. And loving touch can communicate acceptance and connection, right? I mean, it's vitally important that we have this understanding of what the connection means. And what hurts it is neglect, rejection, and emotional and physical distance. So we've got to be very aware of that with someone who's got physical touch, because it's a big one.
It's hard for the person that isn't physical touch, because it's really hard. Some people don't even want to hold hands or put their hand on their partner's lap or anything like that. But even with friends, if your friend wants a hug and it's the same sex, I mean, you don't go around hugging all the guys, girls, and vice versa. But it's hard, when we don't get fed the love language that we need. It really is difficult, and people do feel rejected and not valued. So it's really important that even for friendships in all walks of life, that we actually try and not study, but learn what the other person needs. Okay.
And in terms of learning the 5 love languages, those are the 5 there that you just saw. You can find out yours by going just simply to 5lovelanguages.com. There's a simple quiz you take on there that you answer a bundle of questions, and within about 7 or 8 minutes, it spits out a little report. I think you have to pay to get a more detailed report, but I think the initial report is free. And it gives you your 5 love languages ranked by percentage of score, and obviously your top 2 or your biggest drivers. And it's a matter of just understanding those. And then you can probably do a bit of reading up on it, just research-wise, through the internet. I mean, if you just go onto ChatGPT, I'm sure it'll tell you all about them without having to pay the extra money for the download report.
It's also interesting for yourself to find out what it is, because sometimes you might surprise yourself of what you actually need.
Talking about ChatGPT and how easy it is, I asked ChatGPT what would God's love language be. And in relation to the love language, yeah, it was really funny. I got a great answer.
It's actually awesome.
And basically it came back with the idea that God's love language would be quality time. Quality time with us. As much as he loves the acts of service and words of affirmation, so worship and all the rest of it, and he'd love that, and he loves our acts of service and what we do, but his favorite love language is quality time with us individually. So that's what ChatGPT thought.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it backed it up with scripture, by the way. Yeah, crazy enough. Yeah. Anyway, as Jackie mentioned, as we go through seasons in life, those love languages do shift. And the important thing is to understand is if you've been in a relationship, whoever you're considering in terms of the love languages for a while, they shift with our changes in life. So if we're going through something, or if we suddenly got kids and we've got this going on, or we get married, those things will change. So it's worthwhile doing the love languages test probably every couple of years, maybe every 4 or 5 years, just to see if anything's moved. They do move. In a particular season, acts of service will be a big thing for someone who's married and the kids have come along and what have you, whereas before it might have been something else like physical touch or quality time. Now, acts of service means a lot to me because I'm really busy with the kids and all the rest of it. So, yeah, it's worthwhile checking up on them if you've done them before. Next love language, Peter. Next love language.
Next
slide, please, Ari.
You got a secret one we don't know about.
Yeah. It says here, the love language that matters most. Yeah. So the love language that matters most, as we kind of alluded to earlier already, is speaking your partner's love language. Right? As important as you may feel yours is, it is. But to you, what's more important is to figure out what the other one's love language is, because that's what you need to work towards, right?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest insights is the fact that people naturally express love in the way they prefer to receive it, because that's easy, right? The way our love language is the way we give it, because that's the easiest way. We can easily do that, but if it's not what speaks to the other person, then it's literally a wasted effort. Because if my love language is acts of service, and I'm doing it to you, and your love language is quality time, my acts of service mean nothing, right?
It's literally like you're speaking a foreign language. It doesn't do anything for them. And then you've wasted your effort.
Yeah. So, for example, someone who values gifts buys presents. Someone who values quality time normally plans dates. Or someone who values acts of service does stuff around the house, obviously, because we think that's what will work. The challenge, though, is learning to love your partner in their preferred language. I stress that more and more, their preferred language, rather than in your own. Because even though I love doing acts of service, it doesn't mean much to my spouse, as I said. So the thing is, if the gifts are at the bottom of your list, and the love language doesn't kind of speak to me,
the other person.
Yeah, it doesn't mean much. It just doesn't work for me, right? Words of affirmation, giving gifts just won't cut it. I need to make sure that I'm affirming you for words of affirmation, right? So even if you maybe feel they should feel it, they don't. They won't. It just doesn't speak to them.
And I think God has actually done this also intentionally, because we need to be intentional with everything, right? Because He is. And it helps us be selfless, like I said earlier, to focus on the other person, not focus on myself.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Furthermore, I think there's another book they've written as a follow-up to the love languages. And in there, they basically have the key idea that identifying love language is only the beginning, right? We've got to work at understanding the rest of it so much harder. As much as we feel that we're on top of this now, we understand it. No. The most important skill is a deep understanding of not just knowing their love language, but what their love language means to them in their particular season now. So now we have seasons we go through, right? Acts of service can take on so many different forms, as can physical touch or quiet time. And the season that we're in is in relation to the love language that we need at the time. So as we said before, if you're having children, acts of service suddenly means so much more to me than my preferred love language, which might have been quality time before. Now it's shifted. We need to understand that, because if we keep on applying quality time and keep on trying to get quality time out of our spouse, for instance, who's now busy with the kids, meanwhile she's actually just craving acts of service, help around the house, and we're trying to demand quality time out of him, it's actually going to work. It's going to work
Against you.
Against us, right? So it's very important to understand that, and the relationship of that season and that there's different love languages. Even if I'm sitting, for instance, acts of service, when I'm relegated to sitting in a maybe say a disabled season, think of a broken leg, or I'm particularly ill, and I'd be more simply getting my soup for me, for instance, or getting me a cup of tea, helping me move around, versus tidying or painting the house. You know, those are still all acts of service, for instance, even within the same love language, but they just have a different...
That don't mean the same in that.
No, they just have a different...
At that point.
Meaning,
You
yeah.
can paint later.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and as we said before, you know, quality time for a busy mum and a dad who wants to maybe try and be more organized and create a date night, and getting the kids babysat would be a great thing, right, for her, rather than him demanding more quality time one-on-one, which is just not tenable as often as it would have been, right? So it's an important thing to try and figure out the season that your, whoever it is, friend, person that you're relating to is in, to be able to really deliver to them in their love language at the time. It's just such an important aspect that they've come out with, that was just this add-on to this book that they kind of developed. And I think, yeah, some common mistakes that we make is that most couples believe that if they love me, they'd know what I need, obviously, right? And Chapman argues that that love is a skill that can be learned. We're not mind readers, right?
No.
And just saying, well, if they love me, they'll know that I need that. Why do I have to ask them? Why do I have to say anything, right?
Yeah, and we're not. We can't read anyone's mind. Only God can read our minds. So we really do need to not draw back and not ask the questions, because it's really, those questions are really, really important to ask.
Yeah.
And don't feel silly, because, you know, I think the other person would really appreciate it, that you even take the time and the interest to actually ask those questions, because it means you care and you see them, that, you know, you just don't take it for granted what you think they want.
Yeah.
You're willing to even take that effort to go and ask.
Yeah. Yeah, and we really need to avoid assuming your partner thinks like you, that expecting them to read your mind, you know, that obviously they know it. Criticizing instead of communicating, I think we've been there before, obviously in a couple of other sessions, but that's an important part. And neglecting small daily expressions of love. Just a big thing, right? Even as we said before, that understanding of withholds even, right? Withholding a positive or affirmative something to say. Holding back on that because we get distracted or busy. Make sure that you speak it up. Make sure you speak it into your spouse or your partner or your friend. And we need to choose love daily, because love is more than emotion. And it's a series of intentional actions, ongoingly. So, yeah, next slide, Ari. That's just to end it off, I suppose. So healthy relationships consistently show appreciation, right? They serve each other. We spoke about that even today, right? But forgive mistakes, invest time together. And I think that the big thing is we need to understand that, you know, people receive love differently. That's the big thing. knowing your partner's love language improves connection, no doubt. But understanding it in its proper place and season is even more important. And listening was one of the most powerful expressions, because if we listen, we can actually pick up the stuff that we don't normally get, right? We kind of live on this level up here of kind of superficialness that we expect things to happen at. But if we listen, you can probably pick up things that would just make that difference.
What was that thing we read this morning? You listen to, what was it? Oh, there were the 3 H's.
The 3 H's. Listen to be practical. So if they need help. I can't remember now.
Oh, it was so brilliant.
Bring it up in the middle of the scene. Anyway, we'll tell you later. But the goal of the 5 languages is obviously not to place people into rigid categories, right? But to help become more thoughtful and intentional in the way we love others. That's the main thing, right? When we understand how someone best receives loves, we can communicate affection in ways that are much more meaningful and are much more lasting as well.
It takes all our relationships to another level.
Yeah. And I suppose there's a final, simple kind of conclusion to all of it, is that love is most powerful when it is expressed in the way the other person best feels it. So I think at the end of the day, it's a matter of really learning to consider the other person, because it's so easy to go with what we think is the best thing. But if we stop for a second just to think, oh, hold on a second, what's their makeup say? What are they about? And we actually just fine-tune our doings, whichever they may be about those things, towards them, suddenly we see an extra click in the reaction and the positive reaction that we'll get out of that friendship and that relationship. Yeah. So, yeah, pray that that's spoken to you tonight. We pray that you've got a little bit of extra insight out of the 5 love languages and how the rest of us maybe click a little bit differently to each other when we thought we maybe do.